Hello everybody, and welcome to another third-party review. Finally making my way through all of my backlog of videos and trying to get content out as much as I can. Today, thanks to the team over at Robot Kingdom, we're taking a look at the TransCraft's take on MOHAWK, one of the evil Decepticons that we encountered in Transformers The Last Night. Obviously this is a third-party product, this is not licensed, but first impressions, he's a pretty decent little figure. This is the first product I've had from TransCraft. I know they're currently working on a Bumblebee as well, and if this guy is anything to go by, Bumblebee is going to be very nice indeed. Now, MOHAWK is a punk rock motorcycle, basically. And as far as vehicle modes go, it's pretty decent. It looks like a motorcycle from all angles. Really nice paint applications. Love that kind of neonish, vibrant green that they've used. It really makes the brake discs pop, as well as the inside of those rims. It's a very good, clean looking bike. I mean, it does what it needs to. It's not going to win any awards for most intuitive vehicle mode, but at the same time it's easily recognizable as a motorcycle. Proportions are pretty decent, and yeah, we have a little bit of bot mode hanging off there, but nothing really that untoward. My only confusion really comes as to how we're going to display this. Who do we display it with? It's a fairly decent size, but if I bring in some figures for a quick scale comparison, I mean, we've got our Joe there, who's a 3 3/4 inch, and we've got Mask and the B25 line, both around the 2.5 inch mark, and then of course we've got Human Alliance, who's around the 2 inch mark. I mean, Few is probably the closest. I think it's somewhere in between the Mask and Action Force or G.I. Joe. I think would probably be the ideal height. So maybe the 3 inch figures as opposed to 3 3/4 inch. I don't know, but I know it's not essential to have an action figure to go with your motorcycles, but it's just something I really like. I like having bots able to interact with characters, I guess. And yes, I know my RC is missing this seat section. It's downstairs. My son's been playing with these, but at least with the RCs, they were kind of 3 3/4 inch scale, so yeah, you could, when they stood up, you could get those to scale with your G.I. Joes. But yeah, that's vastly bigger, isn't it? I mean, that's pretty decent, isn't it? It does roll. This is kind of a softish rubber. As you can see, I've stored his knife and some more kind of knives. Is that a knife or some sort of weapon anyway, isn't it? They just store nicely on the rear there. We can just take those off like so. And then from here, you have a little bit of parts forming. This section here, says should just slide off, and we put that over to one side. This panel here is going to flip and rotate up like so. Come along, and we can split this section and this section, revealing a gorgeous head sculpt. Really love what they've done there. Bring those all the way around to the bottom. This piece here detaches from this groove. The hands can unpeg and unpeg. Make sure we've got the kickstand, which is ball mounted. Make sure that's facing downwards like so. Make sure that this ball mount keeps popping off, doesn't it? Make sure that is secured on there like so. These arms are going to separate and come around like so, and again separate and come around like this. He's a funny looking character, isn't he? Real oddity, to say the least. the waist is going to rotate like so, bringing these feet down to the base. Rotate these feet like so. Now I've got a chicken leg these at some point. We'll do that. Make sure you pull this pin here down. The wheel, all I've done there, I've just bent it up like so, moved these arms around and rotated the upper biceps so that this section is facing outwards. We can then bring this ball mounted section back in. He's going to face outwards like that. This is going to bend over. Those are going to tab in. I'm going to rotate his head around, and look at that, he does have a moving jaw as well. The guy looks absolutely shot to bits. We're going to move this down to the front like so. We can then bring in the other wheel. That's going to tab in on that arm like so. There we go. I've stored his knives just on there, and you can see I have actually already chicken legged him. Now, there's a tab on the inside of the hand which allows us to plug his knives in, which is great. But as a result, the ball socket for the hand is now on the outside, so the hand goes the wrong way. Ideally, you'd want the hand to go like that, and be able to tilt inwards. But to do that, you then have to switch these hands over, otherwise the thumb's going to be on the bottom. And then if you do that, you then don't have anywhere to put his knife. It then goes to the outside of the hand, so not really sure I like the design choice on there. Personally, I would like the ball mount to be on the inside. But each to their own, I guess. But look at him. Doesn't he look fabulous? So we can actually maneuver these shoulders up a little bit, I think, just to add to that. But that is Mohawk in all of his glory. I just adore the head sculpt on there. Now, yes, not a huge fan of that parts forming. It's just one of those things, I guess. It's just the way that this is connected. I don't know how else they would have done that. Could they get away with it saying, oh, it's just a weapon or something like that? I think people are generally okay with parts forming if it's an accessory or a weapon, but not if it's an actual part of his appearance, I don't think. That's my personal opinion anyway. Would have liked these to sit slightly better in this chest area. Nothing really holds that into place. It's kind of just there with grit and determination. No tabs in there, but adore the paint on this. Some of the earlier reviews I saw of it made it look crazy shiny, and he's not super shiny. He's adequately shiny. Should I have these on the outside as well? I think his spikes are meant to kind of be facing outwards, aren't they? To give you an idea of how he scales, I don't have a huge amount of the Last Knight figures at the moment. I do have Rensora flying in my display room. It's hanging from the ceiling at the moment, and I don't have the Unique Toys version of Megatron yet, just because he's massive. Looking forward to getting him, don't get me wrong, but he actually scales better with the Toy World Optimus than he does with this one. But not sure what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, I think that works. Judging by how big he was in the film, I think it's a really good sized figure. Pleasantly surprised. Very much looking forward to what they're going to do with the Bumblebee. Fingers crossed we don't have any parts forming with him. I know it's only a minute, minuscule little piece that we parts form, but it's still parts forming nonetheless. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Have any of you picked this guy up? What do you think about him? He's a small-ish figure. I mean, he's a deluxe size, not exactly a deluxe price range, but for those movie lovers amongst you, there's a fairly substantial amount of you now. Could be a necessity for you completionists. Until next time, myself and the team over at Robot Kingdom, thanks for watching, goodbye.